What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the certifiably suave Dr. Disaster. And you know, things are looking pretty bad for a film when even the shills, who are supposed to be bought and paid for and in Disney's pocket, even those people can't get behind it.
I can't lie!
We all know the score by now. The Access Media gets its nickname from the fact that they are given early and exclusive access to things from the likes of Disney and these other big companies in the entertainment industry. They get to go to the red carpet events and review these movies before everyone else, and in return, they promise to be as nice as possible when talking about the movie or video game or whatever it is that they're reviewing. But here we are with Captain America Brave New World coming out in a few days, and it looks like the early reactions are a mixed bag at best.
That's not good news. That's not good news at all.
Yeah, for anyone who was hoping this movie would stand as tall as previous Captain America films, that is not good news. The first of the Rotten Tomatoes scores have come in, and it is really not looking good for this movie, because chances are that the audience score for this movie will end up being quite a bit lower than whatever the critic score ends up being. Chances are that people, regular people, will not like it as much as critics, which is likely why we are learning that the movie's box office opening numbers have been adjusted down.
I want to know what my money is, and I want to know right now!
In their never-ending quest to avoid telling the truth and pursue telling the approved narrative, most of the media is not reporting on this adjustment, and in fact, some of these idiots are flat out lying when talking about this movie making back its budget. They're not accounting for the movie theater's share of the ticket sales. They aren't taking into account the bloated budget from all the reshoots they had to do on this movie, and they are avoiding the fact that this movie's box office projections are trending down. But at the end of the day, the truth is that this movie is in real trouble, which, truth be told, suits most of us just fine, since this company abandoned the built-in audience for activists.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Oh, but baby.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But alrighty then, let's take a look at everything going on with this Captain America movie. I'm definitely in the camp of people who expects the movie to flop, and in fact, I'm kinda looking forward to it, because the thing is, I liked the Falcon as a character a lot. I really enjoyed that character. So, when the actual Captain America hung up his shield at the end of Endgame and he retired, it was sad to see him go. But when they told us that Falcon would become the next Cap, that was kind of like losing two characters at once, because it was clear that he wasn't going to be allowed to be his own man any longer. He was going to be a ham-fisted, race-swapped version of something we had already experienced instead of himself. So, with that context in mind, it doesn't exactly fill me with grief when we see that the movie is getting some mixed reviews from the people who should be going the easiest on it. This article here is from Variety. It says, Marvel's Captain America Brave New World has been unveiled for members of the press, and the first reactions toward the comic book tentpole are coming in lukewarm. Washington Post entertainment reporter Herb Scribner praised Brave New World on X, calling it an absolute blast. All in on the story, it just checked so many boxes for me, felt like an MCU movie where other projects actually matter again, lots of cohesion. Others, like film critic Chris Parker, wrote the film didn't quite hit the emotional or narrative highs I was hoping for, loved Mackie as Cap, and I appreciated the more serious tone, but it did feel slightly empty. And that right there, people, is what you call covering your ass or sitting on the fence, because the dude clearly didn't like the movie very much, but he made sure to give it some empty praise so that if the movie does well, he can say, well, I always thought it was okay, but if it does bad, he can say he was right there to tell us. But then the article goes on, saying film critic Emmanuel Noisette gave a similar review as Parker, writing on X, Brave New World was grounded, entertaining and to the point, solid action and mild surprises, Red Hulk was great, felt like it pulled a lot of political punches, hard to tell whether the marketing showed too much or if the movie didn't have much else to offer, it was average. So yeah, it definitely sounds like the movie is not getting a ton of love, and actually, the first of the scores on Rotten Tomatoes have just come in. Keep in mind that at the time of this recording, there are only 75 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie. Usually, a big-time film like this one ends up with at least a few hundred reviews. So, this score could change, and most likely will, but the early tomato meter has it at a wretched 48%. It seems like maybe those reshoots for this movie didn't do enough to make it watchable. And correspondingly, the box office projections have been moved down, though virtually nobody is talking about it. This article from Comic Book Resources does have the update. The article reads, according to Deadline, Brave New World is set to earn around $80 million domestically during its opening 3 days and $94 million in North American cinemas after its first 4 days. The latest projection is just about what earlier box office predictions indicated for its opening weekend. Yeah, well, even this site doesn't want to tell you that the $80 million the film is projected to do during the 3-day weekend is actually down from the $90 million that was projected a week or so ago. I spoke about this projection a few weeks ago myself, saying that my expectations were that the film would do about $75 million domestically on its opening weekend, and in truth, I'm starting to wonder if this isn't going to be the Marvels all over again, where it struggles to hit even like $40 million. We'll see, that's probably not realistic, but the projections for this movie are almost identical to the projections that we saw with the Marvels. And last week, Anthony Mackie said some pretty silly stuff about America, which had people pretty up in arms. Right now, there is a resurgence of love of country in the US, so I think it was pretty ill-advised for this guy to talk shit about America, especially considering his character's namesake. And at this point, if the critic review numbers don't pick up, it actually wouldn't be surprising to see this film bottom out similar to the way the Marvels did. But I'm going to leave it there. How well do you think the movie will sell during its opening weekend, and where do you think its Rotten Tomatoes score will end up? Drop your predictions into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.